I'm so excited is that it's getting like a soap opera. And this is interesting to me because politics, not so much. Soap operas, yes, very interesting. So this week has all been about a leak, pretty much, out of the Parliament, talking about how Julia Gillard actually said, hang on, can we really afford to give the pensioners more money, and can we really afford parental leave, which I think is a fair question to ask when you're discussing things. But it's come out, she's sort of come off looking second best. But everyone's been saying, where has the leak come from? It's obviously come from inside the ranks. And people are saying it's Kevin Rudd.
Who?
That is, I know, he's dead to us, but he is...
Kevin Rudd.
Kevin Rudd,
yes.
Apparently spilling his guts and then calling Laurie Oakes and going, this is what happened, but don't say it was me, right?
Rash in the ranks.
Now, do you remember Mark Latham? He's a bit nutso, and he's come out...
I don't agree if you're watching, Mark.
No, I know.
I think you're great.
It can be a bit volatile, so
yes.
maybe not so nutso, just maybe a little bit... So he's come out and given an interview and really stuck it to Rudd. Have a listen.
But there's also a cowardice about it. You know, I compare it to my circumstances. People like Tony Burke, many others, have given me a good old bagging for making public criticisms about the Labor Party. But at least I'm putting my name and my face to my words. I think it's the coward's way to get on the blower with Laurie Oakes and say, I'll tell you this, but you're not allowed to identify me. You know, it's the snake's way. So I challenge Kevin Rudd to be a man, to be honest, to have some honour, and actually, if he feels this strongly about it, put his name to his words. You know, I think it's unmanly.
Ooh. My favourite part of that was, it's the snake's way.
Yes. Hey, now, before I get your opinion, we do have to welcome the gorgeous Colin Lane back.
Hello. Hi. I was trying to contribute to the conversation and then I thought, should I be actually saying anything because I haven't had the official
Technically, you're
welcome.
not here.
Technically, I'm not here.
Well, you're just part of our furniture now. We love you so much.
Oh,
so.
well, that's very nice of you to say that. Which part of the furniture? Anyway. But Mark Latham, he's a very interesting fellow, isn't he? Really, to come back and just kind of accuse people of, you know, being unmanly. I mean, I thought he was going to say, K. Rudd, that's un-Australian.
Yes.
I mean, he kind of gets a little bit over the top,
He
doesn't
did always like the limelight, the old Mark Latham,
Yes.
didn't he?
And he does have a way with words, but I really found that good to hear somebody identify the leak, because it could only be a small handful of people leaking all this information.
And allegedly K-Rudd. We don't know whether it's him. We do have to remember that.
That's why I loved that Mark Latham stood up and went, I think it's him, and I think he's a...
Yeah.
But don't you think that it's just part of politics? I mean, you always have leaks. You always have someone who's disgruntled. You only have to watch Hawke the other night, and you saw how when you have someone who's disgruntled and someone who wants the leadership, when they've got two people up against each other, like with Keating and Hawke, which happened with, really, Gillard and Rudd.
Yeah.
You know, it's just part of the makeup, isn't it? You're never going to get everyone on side.
Georgie, because, first of all, it's great to have you back too, by the way.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
but you don't do it during a 5-week election campaign when some of these issues are on a knife's edge, and these leaks really are tipping it over in favour of the coalition when Labor started pretty strong, and the leaks are actually having damage that is measurable.
And I totally agree with you. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think if you're going to toe the party line, you have to say to yourself, OK, well, I'm going to be someone who stands for my party. I need to do the right thing. But then again, you know, how many Prime Ministers have been knifed in the back like the way it happened? So we're sort of talking about a brand new political landscape, aren't we, in a way?
To me, it just shows no solidarity.
No solidarity. It's like a marriage, I reckon. If you're in it, you should be loyal and stick with it. If you're over it and you want to, you know, see other people, leave the marriage.
Yeah.
But once you leave it, go in hard.
Oh, yeah.
Go in hard.
Now, we were just talking about off the back of K-Rudd allegedly providing the leaks in the Labor ranks.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Be careful. And you were referring to a marriage that, you know, if you're in a marriage, go hard if you're out. Well, what happens, though, when you sort of hook up with someone? You don't have to be married to them. You might hook up in terms of committing to living with them. And you don't find out a lot of information until after the fact, and it really annoys you.
Yes.
A wealthy businesswoman is suing her ex-husband over marriage lies. 52-year-old Diane Smith-Gander has accused her ex about lying about his past. He denied the existence of children that he had. Tricking her, she says, into marriage after they met on Colorado's snowfields about 15 years ago. So it's a $1.2 million lawsuit. So she's pretty annoyed, I think. And she claims that she met her ex-husband, they were on a ski trip, they became romantically involved, and she said to him, look, I'm only interested in a relationship with a certain type of man. He has to be successful, no ex-wives and definitely no children.
Right.
So she made that pretty clear.
So he did lie.
He
told
lied,
fibs.
and he allegedly admitted that he did lie and said that he'd been married not once but twice.
Oh. So wait on, she wanted a guy who was successful, no ex-wives and no
kids.
children. She wanted to go out with Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I think that floated her boat. She might have had more luck with Justin Bieber.
But there's a lot of things you discover about your partner that they didn't necessarily lie about, but they didn't disclose. They didn't disclose habits, you know, certain ways they like to do certain things. Or, you know, you might find out 2 years down the track that your wife is a bit OCD or doesn't do this in a particular way. Or I mean, you can't ask them, you can't ask them 100 questions.
And we want to hear from you. Where do you draw the line? What have you discovered about your spouse, partner, after you've moved in or married them? Email
Had
us.
kids together.
Yeah, that's a big one, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you been with been with exes, partners, and then found out something crucial that you've gone, right, that's it, that's a deal breaker, I'm out?
It came out when it was too late. I'd already had a child with the chippy, that he really loves the Creedence Clearwater Revival album, Keep On Chuglin', and to me, that is the deal breaker. But what do? We've got a house, we've got a mortgage, we've got a baby.
Yeah.
I just got to put up with Keep On Chuglin'.
When my wife put on Rumours, Fleetwood Mac, I reassessed. Really?
Now
Colin
Lane.
The gypsy. Stuff off with your gypsy gear. I'm not really interested. Is that a grounds for divorce? Just their musical taste?
It is. It totally is. I think when my ex really liked that Santana album and he kept going on about it, it's a really good album, Yumi, you should listen to it. No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
The other thing he revealed after we'd had children was that he knows the entire dialogue to all the Star Wars movies.
Wow, that would have been handy to know before you bred.
These aren't, he'd go, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
What was going on in your head when you realised that?
Was that foreplay? Move along. What's going on? Just that kind of tells you that he really is a bit nerdy. Shouldn't you have found that out before
Yeah, but I always thought nerds were sexy, but I think that there's a line of nerdiness.
Right,
There
you
is.
think nerds are sexy?
Yeah.
Wow. All you nerds.
Nerds are sexy.
Nerds can be sexy.